No, that's not it. Think about the kids. Over to you, Farley.
What is corn on the cob?
Tough to grill that on a boat. Wrong again. Grace, this time for the win.
What is Bure's cheese spread?
We have a winner! Bure's cheese spread, available in most local grocers in Nebraska. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln. For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
At Doane University, we build leaders. And that means your success and achievements come first.
At Doane University, your future is uniquely yours. And our world-class liberal arts education is just the beginning.
We invite you to schedule your campus visit and experience why Doane University will start you on your journey to your future career.
Learn more by scheduling your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit. See you soon.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hello, this is Mary Pat Waite. I've had the privilege of working with Lincoln families as their realtor for more than 31 years, and I'm so proud to be associated with MP Dodge Real Estate. For me, your transaction is unique in its own way. My experience allows me to bring you trusted care and a really great outcome. My NP Dodge family shares the same client focus.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Live from the heart of Lincoln, America. Welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weeknights. Once again, Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. As always, this is What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington, the host to my left. If you guys want to join in, 402-464-5685. Sarge Rahim and text line. Put a face to the voice. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, X, Allo, channel 961, as always. And also download the podcast after the show. Give me about half an hour. It'll be there as well. Without further ado, bring him in. Second hour that he's been in here so far. Chancellor Brewington, how's it going?
It's going good. It's going to be a long night. No, but it was good. Great show. Appreciate Megan having me on. Definitely interesting being on the other side. I usually got people here, guests on, calling in, and I'm talking to them, interviewing, getting their thoughts, and to get someone to get my thoughts was it was cool. It was a good experience.
Do you ever get anxiety anymore when you hop on the airwaves or no? Like, was it different at all being the person getting interviewed or no?
I think the only one I kind of got like and anxious for was the Adrian one.
Yeah, I did too.
Well,
just I was like, let's go, Adrian.
Yeah, because I was just like, I hadn't talked to him in a minute, so it was just kind of like I wanted to ask him certain questions. So I was like, I have to refrain myself from like acting like we just having casual conversation and we back in the locker room. But other than that, I mean, it's kind of interesting. I don't even really like. I'm like, this is like just natural now.
Yeah, I don't sweat it too much. I sometimes there's days where I need to sweat it more, where it's like really big day and you like, got to really lock down. But yeah, anytime you get somebody like Adrian though, especially after just like an awesome narrative story, it's like you want to make sure you do a good job because it's like there's a lot of people that if you don't ask the questions, they're going to be upset.
Exactly, and that's what I was thinking about before. And I have no journalism background or no type of whatever, but I was just thinking, I'm like, if I'm a fan of Adrian, like, what do I want to hear?
Exactly.
So I was like, okay, I definitely want to hear how the season went. Definitely want to hear a story from the season. Obviously, talk about Nebraska. Talk about the fan. Like talk about his time here. Like that's what the people want to hear. Obviously, I'm sure they wanted to hear why did he transfer and stuff like that. But like just to keep it professional, of course. But
I think he's one of those guys where I will say when he transferred, a lot, at least in my circles, a lot of people are like, I get it, man. Like, go get yours. Like, I totally understand why.
Yeah.
Just because, man, the guy felt like his soul to this program.
Yeah, I remember him, Michigan State, breaking his jaw and eating out a smoothie for a week.
Yeah,
like literally.
And like no one ever really knew the extent of the injuries till after the fact. And he was never on social media like defending himself either.
Yeah, he's he's an awesome guy. And if you're listening, you're like, what are you talking about? If you go to the 93.7 YouTube, if you just go to the video tab, Adrian Martinez interview will be on there. It's a quick little listen, 12 minutes, super packed with information. He answers probably about 15 questions in that time. So go ahead and watch it. But to start show off quarter century wisdom, I have nothing planned. So whatever comes to my mind right now in this very moment is what I'm about to say. And it is pick up a book and read a book. That's what it is. That's what it is. I'm telling you, it's not the how should I say, the knowledge that you get from the book is not powerful. It's the executing the knowledge and applying it that's powerful. So, I think I said on Megan thing, I've read like 20 some books in the past like 3-4 months. Yeah, I read all these books, but it wouldn't mean anything if I'm not applying and executing the knowledge that I learned. So I guess that would be my wisdom would just be pick up a book and read it. The amount of things, the amount of perspectives I've gained from reading different types of books too. Like today I was in the library, bro, and I was reading a book about the Roman Empire and Marcus Aurelius and how Stoicism started. And so like I was just like, oh, like this is like it just adds a new perspective. So when you get in conversation, like nobody wants to be around a boring dude.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I gotta say it, bro. I gotta say it. Nobody wants to be around a boring dude who all you know about is your career.
Yeah, and they got nothing to say. There's nothing, no hobbies that they're interested in.
Yeah. Like I was refraining myself from when a bear was brought up because I learned something about a bear on how they attack you. So I like, but that's like interesting stuff. Like people want to be around like interesting people. So even when you're in your workplace and you're talking to a colleague, like you can talk about things and you're just an interesting person. That's what people want to be around is interesting people. So it just adds something. I just add a little something to who you are. Obviously, if you read books that are focused on changing your mind, that's what I would recommend. If you just starting trying to read, go read a book on how to change the way you think. Go read As a Man Thinketh. Go read Awaken the Giant Within. Go, if you want to, go read The Alchemist. Like go read these books that kind of challenge the way you think and add some type of inspiration and a little bit of conviction on like you, but also like help you achieve your dreams because everyone got dreams. And A lot of times they just dwindle off, and they say that the graveyard is the richest place because it holds, $1 million, $1 billion, $1 trillion ideas that were never executed. So um, go go change the way you think. That's my final statement. Go change the way you think, because if you already think good, think better. If you already think better, think great. If you already think great, think excellent. Like there's always a next level to get to the top of the mountain. And yeah, that's my advice for it.
That's good advice, though. It is crazy books. I think it's in particular like fiction books. Like if you're a person that lacks empathy, like it can actually help you in a big way, like learn to be more empathetic. And like, again, it's just, putting yourself in different perspectives. When you're reading 300 pages of a different perspective, whether you want to or not, at some point it's going to enter into your brain. It's going to switch some gears in there.
Yeah. And it's cool because once you start reading, like, and you find out like kind of who you are and like your moral standings, like you can like read something and be like, I disagree with that, and keep on reading it.
Yeah. Let it challenge you, but it doesn't change you.
Yeah. Like, I disagree with that. Oh, but I understand where they're seeing that from.
That's the part.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, the principle behind that. What they're really trying to get at is this. Okay, I see that. I see that. I probably couldn't apply this part, but I could apply this part in my life. Remember, I went through this situation, and then I love reading books because then like it just gets your mind flowing. It gets your mind flowing. It gets the brain waves flowing, and then all of a sudden, like certain situations start popping up in your like thoughts pop up in your brain while you're reading something, and then you kind of like analyze it and you're like, oh, okay, that's it. It was brought up because we're talking about humility and this is and this and then this this dream or this vision came up because this I had to be humble in this situation, whatever, right? So yeah, I would definitely, if you want to expand the way you think, expand your mind, become an interesting person, pick up a book, man. Pick up a book. And I'm only saying this because I've only started reading for like 3-4 months, but I'm telling you, it worked. It worked.
Get the physical copies too. Nothing against the ebooks.
Yeah,
there's nothing like real benefits. Apparently, there's actually more benefits to the physical.
Yeah,
for some reason with the ebook, it's something about as weird it is. It's something about the turning of a page that allows you to process the information better.
Really,
as opposed to just a constant scroll. It just becomes one long kind of read.
Oh wow,
something
I really like
physical
that.
about it.
I like that. I like that.
Then you get the collection too. I'm with you there. Like I want a shelf of like I can just point to it and be like, oh, like that's knowledge. I read all that.
Yeah, it's like it's a badge. It's a badge.
Yeah,
it's a badge. It's a badge for sure. Because people come to the crib and be like, you want to show them something, and it's the best when you're like, remember when I was reading this book? It was somewhere in here. Then you go to the book and you find it.
Yeah.
But
that's kind of what kickstarted me into reading because I had a library of shame. A whole lot of knowledge. I was like, I maybe read like 2 of those.
Really?
Yeah, because I'd be like super interested. Like, oh yeah, I want to start. This book looks good, and then I'd start reading it. And sometimes I challenge myself too much. I read a book. It was basically how you can apply computer algorithms to like everyday scenarios.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was like crazy stuff. And like, I'm not a software engineer or anything,
Right.
so stuff like that too big to chew. It was interesting.
Right.
Yeah, I just had a bunch of those books. Then I finally one day looked at it. I'm like, okay, this is more embarrassing than it is anything. So
Yeah.
I started reading them. And now I can point to it. And actually, like you said, if I need to read something, I can probably pick up a book and pick it out.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was in the library today. I'm like, bro, you're telling me that if I want to, and I never understood this when I was younger. I wish I did. If I want to learn something, all I gotta do is pick up one of these books and read it.
Yeah.
Like that's all I gotta do. Like, and then I'll have it literally for the rest of my life. Like, yeah. And they say in the black culture, if you want to keep information hidden from a black man, put it in a book. That's what Kyrie Irving said in a press conference one time, and I've heard that. And I
What
was
does
like,
that mean to you? Because I'll be honest, like I don't know how to register that.
yeah. So basically, how should I say? Like during slave times, slaves weren't allowed to read.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, they weren't taught the reading skills.
Yeah, the education wasn't there for them to begin with.
Right. So like they obviously like their masters knew that if you teach them how to read and make them well articulate, then they'll obviously form knowledge and possibly revolt against them. Right.
Mhm.
So they hid that knowledge from it. And obviously during the Jim Crow era, there was a bunch of how should I say lack of funds in black communities for school. So a lot of kids couldn't even read and write that well. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's kind of formulated to where like now later in life, like not a lot of African Americans have, and I'm not saying that there are no black people who read, but I would look I would say that most African American males don't read as much as, other races.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so historically, I'm not gonna say like it's us choosing not to do that. I would say maybe it was dealt a bad hand, but that bad hand is over with. But now it's our responsibility to have the knowledge and execute the knowledge and be able to apply it into our lives. So
It's
yeah,
always so interesting.
yeah.
And again, this is, I'm like, I'm probably as white as Wonder Bread coming out of Harrington, Nebraska, 1600 population. But yeah, it's always interesting to kind of get those perspectives.
Yeah.
And like the Malone Radio, they kind of talk about that with John Goodwin, Michael Hunter.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's always just interesting to kind of hear those things because there's definitely like generational issues that have arose from it. Like there's no question about that.
Yeah.
And like how history's definitely played a role in that. But it's, for me, I can't say what needs to be done because I'm white. So it's interesting to get your guys' perspectives when you do
Right.
talk about those things.
Right, but the one thing I'll say, and this might some black folk might be offended by it, but I don't really care. It's over with. It's over with.
Mhm.
So if you want to stay in that victim mentality, you probably gonna be broke the rest of your life. Sorry.
I think that's just the reality of most people.
Yeah.
Like and obviously some people
I'm talking
are
to
gonna
black
have
folk.
bigger cards.
I'm
than
talking to
others.
black folk. If you still talking about the white man this, I'm sorry, I gotta say this. If you still talking about the white man this, white man that, you ain't gonna get nowhere in life. It's over with. It's over with. If you don't learn how to love your neighbor and first love yourself, you're not gonna get nowhere in life. So that might be the wisdom to really on the show.
Hey, you said it yourself. Sometimes there needs to be a conviction with it.
Yeah, straight up. No sugarcoating around here. No sugarcoating around here. Obviously, I say that with compassion, but I say that because it needs to be said.
Well, yeah, and that's the beauty of why I love the USA. You can't say it. Like,
Exactly.
no one's stopping you from it. Yeah, we
Exactly.
got a local radio station. But yeah, I mean, it's always cool. That's one thing DP's done a really good job about this
Oh
place.
yeah, shout out.
You get a lot of different walks of life in here.
Yeah, he's allowed people to come in here and talk about. I saw financial literacy on Sunday or
UBT.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I wish I knew about that. I would literally tune into that every week.
Oh my man, when I was trying to get my student loans,
Uh-huh.
I think I love my parents to death, but like obviously that's just like a lot for anybody.
Right.
It's a lot of money you're dealing with, and like
Right.
how the government, what the interest rates are going to be, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Subsidized, non-subsidized. What are your scholarships? What's your
Yeah.
grants? That's a lot of information,
Yeah.
And obviously when your parents are both working full time, anyways, so it's not their fault. But like, yeah, it'd be great to have a crash course. For
Exactly.
that, because I can't remember there's one year I took out like way more than I needed to. And I ended up just paying more in taxes back. It was so
Right.
stupid. But like small things like that, I'm fortunate they can absolutely ruin people.
Yeah, like and that's why that show is so important. And obviously like the youth football thing. I watched a segment from there and I was like, these kids are awesome. Like, you know what I'm saying? But just allowing the platform, I seen a movement. Obviously, we do like the Warriors Within Wellness with the health stuff. Like, and there's just all these different shows, all these, and especially black men, white men. There's probably all ethnicities able to share what's on their heart, experiences that they've been through, and then DP has allowed people to get on here and talk about it and be open and be transparent and be vulnerable. And even people talking about their faith, talking about what they've walked through. Like you can't find a sports station out here that
That's
has
what's
all these
important,
different avenues. Like this is the most diverse radio station I'm not well versed in radio, but since I've been able to like really keep up and look around, there's no other place putting out content like the ticket.
Yeah, and that's the beauty thing of it. It's like it's diverse, but it's not like diverse for the sake of being diverse. If that makes sense. It's just, I mean, that's just kind of what you get in humanity. That's why it's cool if you have someone who, maybe, Coach Ron Brown, he's pretty open about it. A little bit more religious beliefs in his morals, but that's just humanity. If you walk around and just talk to a bunch of random people out on the street, you're gonna get those answers. You're gonna get a variety of thoughts and ideas.
Yeah, for sure. So obviously we're just grateful that DP first of all took the took the leap of faith to just go after this thing and take it to the level that is at, and for him to have the visions of taking it to the next level as well, and the next level after that, because we're all here for it.
Yeah. His journey is crazy too. I recommend anyone to go read up on DP, because how he became the owner of a small local radio station in Lincoln. I say small. I don't think it's going to be permanent, knowing the way this thing's been growing. But I don't even know if you could say we're small anymore.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
our reach is pretty insane.
Yeah, no more. I mean, people. I go to church in Omaha, and people are constantly listening to it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, I love the segment last night," and I'm like, "Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it." They don't even have and they're watching it through streaming services. Like not everyone has the streaming services on these, with these signals. So
yeah, our airwaves don't get all the way out to Omaha either. Maybe in like certain spots. Can't remember exactly where the cutoff is, but yeah, that's the other part about radio that just changed, like the streaming, changed the game.
Yeah,
kept the money flowing pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like even when you ever watch Pat McAfee?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Not for everyone, but again, why is he successful? It's kind of like the same things we're talking about here at 93.7 Ticket. Now, I don't know. With DP List, I don't know if he wants to compare this ticket to the Pat McAfee show. But what they do is it's very genuine and real. You know? They kind of have that disclaimer at the beginning, like sometimes we swear because that's what happens in real life. That's how real people talk.
Right.
Like that's just so crave now. It's genuine.
Yeah. And I really love how they just keep it real, and they're able to bring people on, and it's a comfortable environment, and that's what we create here is a comfortable environment for anyone who comes on, that they can be themselves and be accepted.
Yeah. Austin Rivers always cracks me up on that too when he chimes in. Speaking of that, though, we got a little bit more time left. Where do you want to go with the show? Because obviously, there's the Lakers story that's going to be talked about ad nauseum until they make it to the NBA Finals. And if not, the story is going to be how the Lakers didn't make it to the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Celtics are paying an insane amount of money. They're like $170 million over the luxury tax just with their 5 starters.
How's that work?
They pay a lot of money extra in taxes.
Okay.
Towards the league.
And then obviously you got Klay Thompson on the Mavs. Does that change much?
It moves the needle for the Mavs. It spells a lot for what the Warriors are going through, though, their downfall. Steph can still be great, but like I just don't know that whole roster. You didn't really do well on your picks. Didn't have a ton of great drafts either. Right. But yeah, I don't know. That the Warriors dynasty looks like it's fully coming to an end.
Yeah. And then obviously you got LeBron with the pay cut, which I'm sure we'll touch on all of these.
I'm surprised on LeBron taking the pay cut. I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but
well, I mean, it's not truly confirmed on how much yet. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be interesting to see what he chooses to do. But it's kind of like, they drafted Bronny, take a pay cut, Yeah. LeBron got what he wanted. Let the Lakers get what they want.
And the sponsor, you're going to make that money back so fast.
Yeah. And LeBron wants to win now. If he's going to take a pay cut, it's not going to be to win 2 years from now. It's going to be because DeMar DeRozan come to the Lakers, or it's going to be because, not saying obviously Paul George is going to sign somewhere else, or already did. He's with Sixers, right?
Yeah, Paul George, Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah, but it would be a Paul George-esque type player.
DeRozan, he's pretty upset with the Alex Caruso, Josh Giddey trade, so that might be your guy.
Yeah, DeRozan, and then we wanted Klay, of course, but that didn't work out.
Yeah, I was surprised. I really thought Klay was going to be a Laker.
Yeah, and then was the small forward Grant he played the Pistons back.
Grant. Jamal Grant? No.
Jamiri Grant or something.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. But I seen that we're interested.
Jeremiah, thank you.
Jeremiah. Jeremiah Grant. I don't know if we're interested in him. They was talking about maybe getting him, but I would like that. We just need we need somebody. Mm-hmm. If Brown not going to take a pay cut for Grant, I'm sorry. He's not going to. He's going to take a pay cut for.
That's going to be a star.
A star.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know who else is there.
We've looked at it before. DeMar DeRozan seems like the last big fish out there.
Yeah, because we were talking about Paul George.
Yeah.
Paul George out. What's his face?
James Harden's extended.
He's
not going anywhere.
CP3 already with the Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not really like a whole.
Which, by the way, great move by the Spurs.
Oh my goodness,
that has not been talked about enough.
Yeah,
CP3, that's a genius plug.
He might
Victor.
Yeah, he might go. He might average 13, 14 assists.
Yeah.
But all you got to do is throw it 10 feet high. Victor the only one up there.
Where are you at with CP3? Because I'm actually a big Chris Paul fan. I think he's one of the most underrated point guards.
Yeah, it's just obviously the knack on him is that he can't win in the finals or get to the finals and win or have a good playoff run. And to his defense, I mean, you think about those Clippers teams, were they really built to win? Were they really built to? Did they have the shooting to win? Did they really have?
They were in a different era. Like the shooting wasn't. They definitely had the highlights.
Right.
They were really solid, but I just think the West that time too was just loaded.
Exactly. Like it was tough. You're competing with Kobe every year.
Yep.
You got Melo every year. Like it's tough during that time. And then obviously he goes to the Suns, or he has one stop before
OKC.
there. He has OKC, and that was
awesome, man. He made shade. They got Chris Paul there, and they're like, hey, here's the deal. Basically, we understand you probably don't want to play. It's fine. We can find ways to rest you. And Chris Paul's like, no, we're going to try to win games. And then he brings them. I can't remember how high of a seed. I think they were like a 5th seed.
Yeah.
In the Western with a Thunder team that was ranked to be like the worst in the NBA.
Exactly.
Or top, like 3rd. At the very bottom of the barrel, at the very least.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that Chris Paul, I mean, a top 6, top 7, non-negotiable point guard
in the league, or just like all time? That's tough. The all-time point guard list is way more extensive once you actually start putting it down.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got Magic.
You got Magic.
You got
Jerry West. You got to throw the logo in
Jerry
there.
West. You got IT.
Mm-hmm.
You got
Steph Curry's going to be in there.
Stockton,
Curry.
So that's kind of where is it Westbrook or is it CP3?
I take CP3, but I can understand why the argument would be Russell Westbrook.
Right, and then you obviously, some people go Oscar and throw Oscar in there. So that's why I say that like kind of 7 range. But a guy like CP3, he reminds me, obviously maybe a little bit less of a defensive threat, but the way Rondo was able to do that with the Lakers at the end of his career,
he was so integral in getting you guys that last Laker number 17.
Yeah,
he played incredible.
That's why I was really hoping that CP3 would maybe sign with the Lakers, because having that veteran presence at point guard, and even being able to just coach Bronny up and just have more familiar faces with LeBron in the building. I think that's kind of what got the Lakers the ship in the first place, in 2020.
Yeah, and I think it would just be fun. Chris Paul, LeBron James, you put those two minds together.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be fun to watch. Before we go to break here, this one is interesting. What about Russell Westbrook? Apparently Nikola Jokic showing interest. He wants Russell Westbrook.
And I saw that, and I was like, we got to talk about this, because where would he fit in there?
Okay, let's go to break then, and we can have this discussion on the other side, because it's just surprised, that's from Jokic.
Which doesn't seem to fit.
Yeah, and I get it. It's like low risk, right? You're not paying him a ton of money.
But it is high risk, because he can mess up a whole flow of offense.
Let's talk about it. We'll do it on the other side. What's brewing with Chancellor Brewington? Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a little bit.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
I noticed in the article it's spelled DAWG.
Yeah, that's
what. Now hold on.
That's standard.
Again,
Jake,
journalism.
A dog is a DAWG in terms of an athlete, or someone thinks they're badass.
Yeah.
Dog,
There's no
DAWG.
way in 1985 that was the case. Now this is a recent phenomenon, right?
That's not that new. This is
that's not.
This is since 2000 probably.
DAWG.
Yeah. Where have you been?
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, When we all do a little, we change a lot.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, "Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket," and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. On the Block with Strick and Austin.
There's that pit in my stomach. I hope that knot gets untangled and untied so that the Royals can be in contention for the playoffs come late August into September. I'm not holding my breath for it, but before I freak out and lose my mind about how bad things are right now, I'm going to choose to look back at last year and remember how bad 56 and 106 felt.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to The Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington right here on Ticket Weeknights, 1040 O Street, Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. Chancellor, the host to my left, 402-464-5685. If you guys want to join in, feel free to put a face to the voice as well. Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo, Channel 961. Before we left off, we talked about Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets, the 3-time MVP. Did not win the championship last year, but thoughts of getting Russell Westbrook. Apparently has some real interest on adding him to the roster. Just what do you make of that fit right off the bat and the interest that Jokic himself seems like he's trying to get Russell Westbrook over there?
Well, it doesn't exactly make a bunch of sense to me. I'm looking right now on their usage rates. So you got Jamal Murray at about 29, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got Jokic at about 29 as well. And then you got, is Reggie Jackson still there?
Well, Michael Porter Jr. would be probably your next guy, and then Aaron Gordon, and then Jokic.
Yeah, well, we got Reggie
KCP.
at Reggie at 21. And then you got Michael Porter at 17, KCP at 10. All I'm saying is that when the second unit that gets on the floor, I'm guessing Westbrook would be their sixth man. That he would come off the bench and kind of regulate that second unit. It's going to have a whole different style of basketball, because whenever Russell Westbrook is involved in the usage rate is he's the main handler of the ball, facilitator of the ball, initiating the offense, making the true decisions. Look, from Laker experience, from my trauma times when he was with the Lakers, do not do it.
Did you look over at your neighbors though with the Clippers?
How he was with them?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he was all right.
Yeah, it was better.
It was cool until they got in playoff situations and he was just chucking up and hitting the side of the backboard.
Yeah, that's tough though, because he wasn't supposed to be the guy in those playoff situations, and then you just ended up with him almost having to be that guy.
Yeah,
with the Kawhi Leonard deal and just injuries.
I just think that would mess up the Nuggets. I think it would.
It's interesting, right? Because like off the bench, it feels like they want almost kind of like Michael Porter Jr. to be that guy to take over. Obviously not in the playmaking position, but that next scorer when they can kind of rotate minutes. Yeah, I don't hate it just because of the money. I don't think it'd break the Nuggets roster.
I just think it's all about the Nuggets is specifically chemistry. It's not really so much like really Russell Westbrook's cheap. It's what does he add that could change our culture? And sometimes he's just super reckless and
defensively he can hurt you. That's the one part about Russ defensively where you do run in that situation, kind of like Luka was, where it's just like takes not even like Luka. His problem was more he's gotten better at it. That's why I mentioned the Clippers, like way too many gambles. Like he gambles all the time on defense, and then it just leads to a bunch of rotations. His teammates got to try to make up for it, and you end up with an easy 2 points or a wide open 3. The Clippers wasn't as bad. You feel like you kind of understood that more.
Right.
I'd be down to watch it. I think like him.
You think it's going to make the team better though?
I don't know. It's not going to move the needle a lot. I think it's going to add.
So you think
value
you
to
think
guys.
You think it's going to go move the needle positive and move the needle negative?
I'd say
if you had to pick one.
If I'm going to put this, like if I'm going to risk management this, I'd say the needle fractional negative and a good decent to fractional positive. Like I'm don't think it can go very downhill because you're not very committed to it. If you're not going to pay him a bunch of money, if it doesn't work out, it's fine. Like your team's still solid. He's not going to be able to walk in there and just rip that team apart. Like they're going to look around, and if Russ is the one causing the problems, I don't think there's going to be any splitting. I think they're all just going to look at Russ, and I don't think Russ is that kind of player anymore.
So what changed?
I think he's got that dog in him. I think that part's real. Kind of that Jimmy Butler factor. A good veteran.
No, I don't know about
that. That guy always hustles.
Who, Jimmy Butler?
Both those guys. Jimmy Butler and Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, he could hustle, but if he hit the side of the backboard
you're not adding him for his 3-point shooting or shooting at all.
Okay, but if he's that's what I'm saying. You would have to sit him down and say, look, I don't need you taking no type of I need you mid-range at most. I don't need you taking no type of threes. I need you to get this offense going, get the ball to guys when they hot, run on fast break, real downhill stuff, go finish at the basket, cause contact, get guys in foul trouble, play good defense, get offensive rebounds, play acceptable defense. I'm not asking you to go after their best player every game for 40 minutes, but yeah, I think that's a very specific role that you got to give him, because if you give him too much freedom, don't sorry, I'm saying that
he shot 27% from 3, so you're right not to tell him to.
I'm saying this from a scarred Lakers fan, to where we was begging that we would have traded him for a box of Krispy Kreme donuts to be 1,000 with you every Tuesday. a box of Krispy Kreme. We would have traded Russell Westbrook for a box of Krispy Kreme donuts every Tuesday.
Oh, I remember it.
No
It was,
sprinkles, just glazed. Just glazed. And we would have said, all right, we'll pay for them throughout the rest of the week, just on Tuesday. That's when we need them.
All right, now we know how you feel about it.
Yeah.
Do you ever think it's like a Lakers problem, though? Because like, you guys do get great talent. Jordan Clarkson, Josh Hart,
Bro.
Julius Randle. You just take all these superstars. And
I see what we're doing.
Brandon Ingram.
I see the segue of where we're going, and if we want to go there, we can go there. Do you want a response?
Yeah, let's hear what you got to say.
Okay, they was all pups.
Yeah, they were.
They was all pups.
Great prospects. Though.
And the good players that came in, they was either before their prime, like they just entered the league, or we got old man Melo who, had to put icy hots on his knee, like 3 hours before the game just to get him warm.
Yeah, he's putting the icy hot on the plane.
Yeah,
before they're even there.
Yeah, he had to. Yeah, he packed Melo. Yeah.
That one's dumb enough to get me a laugh for you.
It was heat pack Melo. You saw him every time when he come out the court. You gotta get them heat packs on his knees.
Well, I'll tell you what. With Bronny, you definitely got a guy you can develop. I'm still trying to wrap my head around. Not that I hate it. I'm just blown away that it happened. But I cannot, for the life of me, carve out a role for Bronny. Because you say 3-and-D, he's shorter than Steph Curry. His defense isn't going to be ideal. Not even because it's not fast enough. He's just not big. Like, what's a realistic role for Bronny that isn't playing for the Lakers affiliate team in the G League? Because even that might be too much competition. And that's not trying to be mean, but that's just what it is.
That's crazy.
4.8 points at USC. Again, the hard
but
thing.
He's not but you also have to factor in what type of player he is.
Mm-hmm.
Will he thrive better in a college system where they're running all sets and there's no freedom of basketball? Or would he be better in the NBA system?
Maybe. I mean, the NBA, you'd hope there's an uptick because he's obviously going to have all the training in the world for it. But the shooting numbers is the other thing that makes it hard for me to carve out a role. Now, again, not the biggest sample size. Like his high school numbers will probably tell you he's a better shooter than his USC numbers. But yeah, what is a role that Bronny can actually play? Because I hear 3-and-D and I look at the shooting numbers and I look at the size. And I'm like, that's not true.
Yeah, I think to start off is going to be how he performs in summer league.
Mm-hmm.
From summer league, I think he's going to probably be a late minute guy.
I want to ask another really great question, which could be awesome. But go ahead.
Yeah, I think it goes, kind of. I forget the guy that they just signed, Max Christie, or
they got Connect out of Tennessee or free signing.
Yeah, re-signing.
Let me find out who they picked up.
They re-signed a guy that was a two-way player, two-way G League player, kind of off the bench, and then he got some minutes, a couple years later. But he was on that COVID team, but he was a two-way player, and worked his way up, and now he just signed like a 3-year $50 million or something like that, So it's not so much of I see him coming in. I think it's really just getting him all the information, making sure he learn it, making sure he's his body is progressing, and then getting him late game minutes, early on. And really, how does summer league? I think you had a question on the summer league.
Yeah.
It's gonna be all eyes on him for real.
Does LeBron play with Bronny in the summer league?
That's insane.
It used to be a real thing. Like that actually used to happen though. Back in the day.
Why
like
would
the vets
he
would
play?
actually hop in the summer league.
Why would he play with Bronny in the summer league?
Because that's going to be historic, and you might not get to do it on the real NBA court if you want to win.
Stop it. You stop it.
I'm saying
Bronny's starting point guard for game 1. I'm playing.
D'Angelo Russell.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That'd be the first time I'd look at Russ and I'd be like, this is injustice.
Yeah, he would. Realistically, Bronny would be the point guard on the 3 squad.
Mhm.
Late game. Literally, we up by 30.
His
All right.
playmaking is the one thing that I think could save him.
Yeah. And I think it's just going to be a point of